A.J. Brown is a legitimate MVP candidate. And Cowboy fans, you need to start listening to future Eagle Micah Parsons. He told you who the best team in the National Football League is. And oh, don't let me forget you 49er fans. Bang, bang! Niner gang dead! Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. A.J. Brown is a legitimate, and I mean legitimate, MVP candidate. When a guy is setting records the way he is, how can you look at it any less? The guy is on a tear, okay? And the Cowboy fans, they thought they were going to have a nice, easy bye week, gain a half a game on the Eagles, but it's turned out to be a disaster. They lost their bye week. You stink! You lost your bye week. And now, Micah Parsons, or should I say, future Eagle Micah Parsons, ain't helping matters for the Cowboys. And 49ers, bang, 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 Niner gang dead. We're going to get into it, all of it in a second. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. If you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. It truly means a lot. Now, there's a lot of things I kind of wanted to talk about in this video that I've been just waiting for, and then you had the Bayard trade going down, and I figured I would just get it all out in here like a little mini rant, because there's a lot of interesting things going on, okay? First thing, the Eagles are once again #1 in the NFC. They have a whole game on the 49ers because the Niners, bang, bang, Niner gang dead. They completely choked against the Minnesota Vikings. The Niners are easy to figure out. You make them one-dimensional, and you stop the run, and Purdy stinks. There are even reports that the 49ers could look to bench him. They're already going to give up on the guy, okay? The 49ers are very beatable. And, you know, yeah, it would have been great to beat the Jets, and you'd be up 2 games on the Niners right now, and it sucks that you're not. But we at least are 1 game up. We're where we should have been before that Jets game. As they were walking off the Cleveland field, we should have beat the Jets and been 1 game up. We're finally there. And that loss could be huge for us because it's a loss that you could put in the back pocket. You got to play the Niners, and if you beat them, you could be technically 2 games up depending upon how things go. But it gives us a slight breathing room. And we'll see. The Niners have the Bengals this week. Could get bad for them. We're going to find out. Now, in this video, I want to talk a little bit about A.J. Brown also, because A.J. Brown right now is on a tear. As many of you guys know, he tied Megatron's record, for 5 straight games over 125 yards. 1 more game, he'll set the record himself. And there is talk that he is actually an MVP candidate, that he could actually be the MVP. Sports Illustrated wrote this: ESPN's Robert Griffin III, RG3, names A.J. Brown as a legitimate NFL MVP candidate. Now, I have to completely 100% agree with RG3. I think you have to look at A.J. Brown. You have to look at what he means to the Eagles, what he's meant to them this year, and you have to say, he is a legitimate MVP candidate, you know. People made so much of a big deal about him on the sideline with Jalen Hurts. They're ready to trade him, ready to cut him. They're tired of him. They don't like him. And look what he's doing, okay? He wasn't even complaining with Jalen Hurts about targets, okay? And when you look at his numbers, right, he's got 52 catches, 809 yards. 809 yards and 3 touchdowns, okay? Now, that's ridiculous. Those are ridiculous numbers. And to me, when I look at A.J. Brown and I look at what he's doing, I think you've got to legitimately consider him to be a MVP. I mean, look at this. If things continue the way they're going, and I don't know that they can because he's on such a pace, but this is what his projected numbers are right now: 126 receptions, 1,965 yards and 7 touchdowns. Only 7 touchdowns. But that's what he's on pace for right now. A.J. Brown is having the best year of a wide receiver by an Eagle that I've ever seen. He is legitimately top 2 wide receiver in the NFL. And yes, I will say this because I know some people are going to say, well, if you're considering him an MVP candidate, then you have to say the same thing about Tyreek Hill. I agree. I 100% agree. I think Tyreek Hill is another guy that you have to look at and consider him an MVP candidate as well. He's got 53 receptions, only one more than A.J. Brown, but he's got 902 yards, and he has 7 touchdowns. I think he has been just as big of a factor for the Dolphins as A.J. Brown has been for the Eagles. Now, we're going to find out where this all goes with A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, but A.J. Brown is on a 6-1 team who beat Tyreek Hill's Dolphins. And I have never seen, I mean, you have to go back to, what, Owens in 2004 season. That was the best year of a receiver I've ever seen. This is better. He's having a better year. I mean, he doesn't maybe have the touchdowns that Owens had, but his numbers are absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, when you have a guy that hot, and you have a guy that's putting up those kind of numbers, you got to keep feeding him. You got to keep going to him while you can. You got to keep putting it up there for him. And what happens when you have a guy that's playing that good? Other guys, you know, they're going to lose targets. They're going to lose opportunities. You know, you look at Devonta Smith's numbers. Now, Devonta Smith had a bad Jet game. That was a horrible game. I thought he rebounded well and played really good last week. He did have one drop, but he made some big, tough catches for us. And his numbers are down because part of it is, yeah, that bad game with the Jets, but part of it is because they're targeting A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is on a tear. Devonta Smith's got 32 catches right now, 383 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's on pace for in between 900 and 1,000 yards. Now I expect Devonta Smith to get those numbers up as the season goes, and I'm sure, I'm almost positive he'll end up with over 1,000 yards. It'll work itself out. We will need Devonta Smith before this is all said and done. He will make big plays for us. We will need him to make big plays, and he's going to be a big part of this team. Right now, it's going to be interesting to see what teams try to do to stop A.J. Brown. Will that open up more for Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert? It's really a great problem to have for the Philadelphia Eagles. But when I see a guy playing the way he is, you got to keep feeding him. You got to keep going to him. Let this guy put up the numbers, because right now, to me, A.J. Brown is an MVP. He legitimately could be MVP, and I absolutely love it. I love this team. I love where this team is at right now. We haven't played our best football. We're playing better each week. We just came off our best game, which still wasn't perfect. We have a lot of things to fix. We just got a safety, an all-pro safety, that's going to fit in perfect with us. And I love where this team is trending. We are trending up. We are headed up, and we're 6-1. Despite all the injuries, despite the Hurts turnovers that all they want to talk about is his turnovers, despite all that, we are 6-1. We have the best record along with the Kansas City Chiefs in the National Football League. Okay, that's pretty special. So special that I think the Cowboy fans got a big problem. I think you got a giant problem. You think I'm kidding. You guys think I'm joking, but I'm dead serious. I think that Micah Parsons is a future Eagle, or at least he wants to be. Now, Nolan Smith and how he develops may affect that a lot, but I think Micah Parsons, or I'll just call him future Eagle Micah Parsons, I think he's already checking out on the Cowboys. All right, the Cowboy fans are having a very bad week. All right, Mark Holmes called me last night during my stream to tell me he's jealous. He wishes he could be like the Eagles. They're crying because Dallas isn't doing anything. The Eagles are getting all pros, and I could totally understand why they're upset. When you have an owner who's 7,066 years old, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Jerry Jones. 7,067 years old. Guy's been around a long time. He even saw the flood. Okay, 7,068 years old. And he doesn't trade. He doesn't do everything he can to win a championship. He thought he had it great back in the day when there was no salary cap. Now that there's a salary cap, Jerry Jones can't compete. But, man, Micah Parsons, he isn't making it easier. You know, they thought the Eagles were going to lose this week, Dallas fans. Then they thought, you know, that we wouldn't make the trade that we did. And then now they got Micah Parsons, future Eagle Micah Parsons. He's going on his podcast talking about the Eagles are the best team in the league. Get this. This is trending, by the way. Pound Cowboys, Micah Parsons calls the Pound Eagles the #1 team in the NFL. He says nobody can stop the tush push, and they have no real weakness. Have to appreciate Parsons being unbiased in his evaluations. I like Micah Parsons. One of the few Cowboy fans that I could ever, or Cowboy players that I could ever say that I liked while he was playing for the Cowboys. There are players after they retired, I liked them, or when they left Dallas, but I gotta like Micah Parsons because he bleeds green. He bleeds green. He's probably sitting there watching the Phils. He's been watching with his Phils hat, his Phils jersey. He loves it. He loves it. Total Philly guy. He bleeds green. And I know he saw those Kelly Greens and he went, oh, I gotta join that team. Sorry, I'm getting carried away here. Micah Parsons loves the Eagles. It's a bad week for the Cowboys. They thought they were going to, Cowboy fans thought they were going to gain a half a game. Then they thought that they didn't think the trade was coming. Now their best player wants to play for their mortal rival enemies. I feel bad for you Cowboy fans. It is about to get rough. Your season is going down the toilet, and you don't even know it. You guys are worried about Dak Prescott having games with no interceptions, but your team is going down the drain. You gotta love it. You might see me later today, you might not. I got a bunch of doctor's appointments today, so I gotta go take care of some stuff. But if you see me, you'll see me. If you don't see me, you'll see me Thursday. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. I don't understand. Yeah, you might be right, Bills Mafia. Do they not trust Dak Prescott in this situation? Looking, throws. Intercepted! He choked! We got to get Cowboy Cam.
Picked it off.
Dak Prescott's a choke again.
I fucking told y'all, bro. They've been packing it in there on 2nd and 3rd down
the whole
time.
He choked. Dak Prescott.
It's Mike, bro. I don't even blame Dak on that.
He don't blame Dak. The guy don't blame Dak. He said he don't blame Dak on that. You see that? You see that?
It was Cooks was coming across
They're
the back
blaming
end zone line.
They're not blaming Dak. Dak threw the ball. What do they mean they don't blame
All
Dak?
right, so
They don't even blame Dak. They're pathetic.
oh God, no. I want to be like the Eagles.